Welcome along to another installment of On This Day, where we offer true stories that we hope you find interesting, informative, fun, and sometimes just simply shocking. Today's event is March 14th, and on this day, we're celebrating the birth and the incredible mind of what I now appreciate as a very, very clever man, Albert Einstein. And watch until the end, as there are a few fun facts that might raise your eyebrows. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into the story, let me explain that although I had heard of Einstein, and like most of you, I knew he was a clever guy who came up with incredible scientific theories, I must admit that I didn't appreciate just how smart he was until I began researching this story for you. I now realize that I'm definitely not an Einstein, because when looking into the theories he expressed, I was way out of my depth within 5 minutes. So today, apart from a little biography on the man himself, I thought I would try to explain some of this fascinating scientific theory stuff in my own down-to-earth way, with the use of analogies. Okay, here we go. Albert Einstein, born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, in the Kingdom of Württemberg in the German Empire, was a renowned theoretical physicist. Einstein's groundbreaking work in theoretical physics revolutionized our understanding of the universe. His theory of relativity, formulated in 1905 and 1915, changed the way we perceive space, time, and gravity. Einstein's early life was marked by academic excellence, although he faced challenges in traditional schooling due to his rebellious nature and strong independent thinking. Despite this, his passion for physics and mathematics flourished, leading him to study at the Polytechnic Institute in Zurich. In 1905, Einstein published 4 papers that would alter the course of physics forever. One of these papers introduced the concept of special relativity, which posited that the laws of physics are the same for all non-accelerating observers and that the speed of light is constant in a vacuum. This groundbreaking theory challenged long-held beliefs about the nature of time and space. Building upon his work on special relativity, Einstein developed the famous equation mc², which demonstrates the equivalence of mass and energy. This equation would later become instrumental in the development of nuclear energy and atomic weapons. Okay, before this gets a little too heavy going, let me make my first attempt at clarifying the law of relativity. Imagine you're in a car and your friend is standing on the sidewalk. As you drive past them, you wave and they wave back. Simple, right? Now let's think about what happens if you're both in spaceships traveling really, really fast. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, things might not be so simple anymore. He said that time and space can change depending on how fast you're moving and where you are. This means that if you and your friend are traveling at different speeds, you might experience time and space differently. For example, if you're moving super fast in your spaceship, time might seem to slow down for you compared to your friend standing still on the sidewalk. It's like time is stretching out or shrinking depending on how fast you're going. And it's not just time that's affected, space can also change. If you're moving really fast, distances might seem shorter to you than they do to your friend. It's as if space is getting squished or stretched out. So, in simple terms, Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that time and space can change depending on how fast you're moving and where you are. It's a mind-bending idea that has revolutionized our understanding of the universe. Anyway, I hope I didn't make that even more harder to understand. But let's move on. Einstein's contributions to physics continued with his theory of general relativity, published in 1915. This theory proposed that gravity arises from the curvature of spacetime caused by the mass of objects. General relativity provided a new understanding of gravitation, predicting phenomena such as gravitational waves and the bending of light by gravity. Once again, if you're willing to stay with me, I'm going to offer a simple analogy about the theory of general relativity. Here we go. Imagine you're floating in space, far away from any planets or stars. According to Newton's theory of gravity, objects with mass, like planets or stars, attract each other, causing them to move towards one another. We can understand this as the classic apple falling from a tree scenario. Now here comes Einstein with his theory of general relativity. Instead of thinking of gravity as a force pulling objects together, Einstein proposed that massive objects, like planets and stars, actually cause space to bend around them. It's as if they create a sort of dent or dimple in the fabric of space. Picture a bowling ball placed on a stretched-out rubber sheet. The ball causes the sheet to curve downwards around it. Now, if you roll a marble nearby, it will follow a curved path around the bowling ball. This is similar to how objects move near massive bodies in space, according to Einstein's theory. So, in simple terms, general relativity tells us that gravity isn't just a force between objects. It's the result of the bending or warping of space caused by mass. This idea has profound implications for how we understand the universe, from the motion of planets and stars to the bending of light around massive objects like black holes. Einstein's theory of general relativity truly revolutionized our understanding of gravity and the cosmos. In 1921, Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for his discovery of the photoelectric effect, which demonstrated the particle-like properties of light and contributed to the foundation of quantum theory. Quantum theory! I cannot believe I'm going to try to explain this, but I've come this far, and my mom will be so proud. So, imagine you're sitting in a dark room and suddenly you switch on a flashlight. What do you see? Light beams shining out, right? Now let's take a closer look at what's happening at the smallest level, where things get really weird. Back in the early 20th century, scientists were trying to understand how light works. One experiment that puzzled them was the photoelectric effect. This is when light shining on certain materials, like metal, causes them to release electrons. Now here's where things get interesting. Scientists, including Einstein, discovered that light behaves like tiny packets of energy, or particles, called photons. So when light hits the metal, it's not just a continuous wave of energy, it's made up of these discrete packets of energy. But that's not all. Quantum theory goes even further. It tells us that particles, like photons, can also behave like waves. This means they can spread out and interfere with each other, creating patterns of light and dark areas. So, in simple terms, quantum theory tells us that light and other particles can behave like both particles and waves. This idea challenged the classical view of physics, where things were either one or the other. Instead, quantum theory shows us that the universe is much stranger and more complex than we ever imagined. Throughout his life, Einstein was not only a brilliant scientist, but also a passionate advocate for pacifism, civil rights, and social justice. He spoke out against racism, totalitarianism, and nuclear proliferation, using his platform to promote peace and understanding. Einstein's legacy continues to inspire generations of scientists, thinkers, and activists. His theories remain fundamental to our understanding of the universe, while his humanitarian ideals serve as a guiding light in our quest for a better world. Albert Einstein, a true genius whose contributions transcended the boundaries of science, leaving an indelible mark on humanity's collective consciousness. So there we are. If you stuck with me, then thank you, as I guess it was painful for you to witness the equivalent of a retarded chimp trying to explain quantum physics, but hey, I had to try, and I promise never to do so again. Anyway, the bit you have been waiting for, or you fast-forwarded to, the fun facts. Enjoy. 1. Einstein was a passionate musician and played the violin proficiently throughout his life, often using music as a creative outlet and a means of relaxation. 2. Despite his towering intellect, Einstein struggled with speech as a child and didn't start speaking fluently until around the age of 3. 3. He was an avid sailor and enjoyed spending time on the water, finding solace and inspiration in the tranquility of sailing. 4. Einstein had a famous wild and unkempt hairstyle, which became one of his trademarks. Contrary to popular belief, he didn't actually dislike combing his hair. He just didn't care much for appearances. 5. He was offered the presidency of Israel in 1952 but declined, stating that he lacked the necessary skills and experience for such a political role. 6. Einstein was a committed pacifist and campaigned against militarism, particularly nuclear weapons. He famously said, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." That's definitely one to ponder on. 7. Despite his scientific achievements, Einstein struggled with formal education and was once told by a teacher that he would never amount to anything. 8. Einstein was a passionate advocate for civil rights and spoke out against racial segregation in the United States, aligning himself with the civil rights movement and befriending activists like Webb Du Bois. 9. He had a playful sense of humor, and enjoyed sharing witty anecdotes and jokes with friends and colleagues. One of his famous quotes is, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." 10. Einstein's brain was preserved for scientific study after his death in 1955. Researchers examined his brain to try to understand the physical basis of his extraordinary intellect, although the results remain inconclusive. Thank you for joining us on this day. We always appreciate a like or share to help the channel grow. And if you would like to see more stories that cover a wide range of topics such as pop culture, movies, sport, biographies, births, deaths, or even tragic events, then please feel free to subscribe for more of the same as we upload new content every day. We're always interested to know what your favorite kind of topic is, so if you would like more shocking, funny, or biographic material, please let us know in the comments, and we'll even give you a mention in the video we make for your entertainment. Once again, thanks for watching what happened on this day, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.